Audible till the last row? Thank you guys. So my topic for discussion is managing large networks with small teams. Today I'm going to not give any gyan on any technology, no AI gyan, no quantum, no security. In fact, our marketing team was very insistent that I use the marketing slides prepared by them. So I've decided not to do that. No gyan, enough for today. I'm a hardcore network engineer. I'm very proud of that. Today I'm going to talk a little bit technical. Since my marketing team advised not to do that, they asked me to talk about ROI, MTTR, business value and all that stuff. We will not do that. In a room full of blue suits and gray hairs business owners, I'm still going to risk and talk a little bit about technology, right, which affects our everyday life. Network is like utility, right? It's electricity. As long as it works, nobody cares. When it doesn't work, all hell breaks loose, right? Now, a little bit about me is I started with Cisco, and any Cisco partners here who have sold a 6500, Catalyst 6500? That's great. That's one of the best products ever made. And in the last 10 years, we've been working with several enterprise customers here in India and outside with our small company called Aerowire Networks, catering to about 500 plus enterprise customers in India and in 8 countries outside of India. But one thing which has always pinched me personally is that network is treated like guilty, right? Anything doesn't work, blame the network, right? Zoom calls, you know, it flickers, blame the network. So this has been a very personal problem, and decided we got to do something about it, right? Now, why is network assurance so painful? Why is it so difficult? In last 10 years or last 15 years, with the onset of so much of technology coming in, cloud coming in, SaaS coming in, and now AI coming in, network is no more, as you guys know, it is no more constrained to the office, right? It's everywhere. Second biggest problem is the amount of data that the network generates. It is not humanly digestible. I, as a human network engineer, cannot digest all the things that the network throws at me, right? Third thing is the size of the IT teams in enterprises is shrinking. It is a lean IT team, small set of people. It is generally IT generalists. We don't have network engineers anymore who are managing the network, right? It's IT generalists. And most important of the all, our attention span as humans has gone down, right? It is that of a rat right now. When was the last time you watched a full-length movie? Never, right? Our OTTs is filled with movies, but we end up watching reels. That's our attention span. Now, you make a small group of people in charge of a large network. This is not going to work out. Let's see two of the largest network monitoring products out there, SolarWinds and one more. And this is how it looks like. This is how network monitoring or network observability looks like today. Who understands this? Nobody, right? So we decided, take it, throw it, and start fresh. Start with a clean sheet of paper, and we decided to do something really, really simple. We wanted to do 3 things to make this work. One, make it very, very simple. Take all data, but don't show it to the user. The user does not need to see everything that the network is throwing. Make it simple. Second, make it measurable. Quantify everything. And third, and the most important thing, make it actionable, right? Sounds simple. And like I said, I'm not going to use any of the marketing slides. I just want to talk about few of our field stories, right? Field battle stories, what we have experienced as network consultants over the last 10 years. And based on those experiences, what we have built, what is very relatable to Indian customers and Indian organizations, right? Few case studies is, in India, internet is the biggest challenge, right? Unlike West, unlike US or Europe, where internet is pretty stable and it is sorted, in India, our last mile, when I say last mile is the fiber that comes from your internet service provider POP to your premise, right? That fiber comes over a tree, or somebody's terrace, or underground, under the road. It is that uncertain, right? That unstable. Now, I'm sure we cater to a lot of Indian businesses here, where the number of sites that your customer has could be in hundreds or thousands, right? We currently cater to quick commerce companies. Two of the largest quick commerce companies are customers. The case study is, you have thousands of sites. Each of your dark store is a site. Each store has 2 to 3 ISP links, which are unstable. Now, you have 3,000 or 4,000 links to be managed. Your IT teams in charge of managing 4,000 links, that is a huge operational overhead, right? SD-WAN does solve the problem of giving you a uptime, but a failed link still has to be dealt by the IT team, right? Huge operational overhead. Indian problem, very Indian specific problem. So what did we do? We have an AI agent which talks to the SD-WAN or our SD-WAN integrations, does the troubleshooting, figures out that it's an ISP problem. It could be any number of scenarios. In most of the scenarios, it may be not an ISP problem, right? But once it figures out that it is an ISP problem, there is another agent which can go and log a ticket with the ISP. Right? Now, logging a ticket with the ISP is not that straightforward. Now, if it is Airtel, Jio, or TCL, they have got the portals, you have got go to the portal, update everything and log a ticket. That has been automated because of an AI agent. Again, it's a very Indian specific problem. Any customer who is dealing with hundreds or thousands of ISP links has to also figure out, how do I manage, or how do I figure out if my service provider is actually delivering the SLA that he has promised. There is no way right now. So we built something for that. Since we are able to keenly track from troubleshooting till ticket getting logged, till getting it resolved, we can very accurately say that this is the SLA which was promised by the service provider, and this is what it was delivered. We can go one step further, take all the WAN contracts and get to a dollar value or a rupee value, wherein we can say this is the penalty clause for the missed SLAs, right? Again, very, very indigenous solution for very Indian specific problems. Second biggest problems in enterprise, a poor Teams call, a jittery call, and the first blame is on the Wi-Fi, right? And interestingly, half of the times the bad Teams call has got nothing to do with the office Wi-Fi. However, IT teams struggle with a lack of evidence, right? Now, we've got something called as digital experience, wherein not only do we track the connectivity of the teams, we map it out into 3 categories, where we clearly say if it's a Wi-Fi related problem or a non-Wi-Fi related problem. Very easy and easy to use evidence for IT teams to as a evidence for proof of innocence. Now, our friend from DigiCert a few minutes ago was talking about another problem, right? A certificate expiry. This happens a lot in enterprises. An internal application, a certificate gets expired and it goes for a toss. As usual, the first blame is on the network, then the network says, no, it's not our case, and then they go out figure that it's a certificate problem. We track certificates for every application, right? Now, the second biggest challenge, again very India specific challenge, is for digital experience, you need to install agents in each site. In India, when we are catering to customers like retail, like manufacturing, these sites have very low IT footprint. Forget having a VM, there is no network rack or a rack in most of these cases, right? So what do? So we came up with very indigenous solution of using a IoT Raspberry Pi based sensor, and this comes with a hardened case. Why hardened case? Because our sites are dusty, things fall, things go for a toss. This is a plug and play, zero touch deployment sensor, which gives the ability to have a world-class digital experience for Indian customers. Again, automations, right? If we are talking about managing a large network with a small team, we cannot rely only on human expertise and human skill. So we got a lot of automations pre-built in, right? Real-time security posture. A lot of enterprises have this quarterly or semi-quarterly audits by security consultants to come and audit the network. This happens in real time on everyday basis. Very simple, very indigenous solution. You have an AI agent, you discover the entire network, go to a OEM's website, do a cross-reference and come up with the security posture, right? Self-service portals. Lot of customers at site, you have non-IT guys, right? For those non-IT guys, you give a self-service portal, they can figure out a lot of things themselves. You cut the amount of complaints that comes to your knock at the source. Again, loved by a lot of our customers. Inventory housekeeping, tracking configuration drifts. Very, very simple hygiene, but in last 12 years of my career, 99% of enterprise do not have a way to continuously track these configuration drifts. Of course, we are not asking humans to do this. We track this and then feed it into our AI agent for them to do troubleshooting. Okay, I've kept the best for the last, which is how do we do troubleshooting using AI? I'll take a use case of Wi-Fi, which is the most common and the most sensitive part of the enterprise network. Wi-Fi problems are hard to spot, hard to catch, hard to troubleshoot while they happen because it is environmental and it is sensitive, right? So I'm taking two examples. One where the system has figured out that the client has got a authentication problem. Again, for people who have been on the ground, this is a very, very hard thing to do. It takes about 45 minutes to 1 hour for a trained wireless engineer to figure out. This is happening in 30 to 40 seconds, real time, right? How does our agentic AI framework work? Basically, tons of agents trained on domain knowledge. We have a wireless trained agent, we have a RNS trained agent, we have a security trained agent, and then there is a set of product trained agents, and then there are contextual agents, each working together. What we are trying to do is bridge the gap between alert and action. Again, a marketing slide, like I said, my commitment, no marketing stuff. Where do we stand? We don't want to build another tooling which gives you a lot of data back to the user. We want to be a utilitarian tool wherein it does something. These are some of our customers, like I said, quick commerce, retail, public sector, large pharmaceuticals, semiconductor. We do have an MSP program wherein one, selling SaaS is sticky, high margin, and if you're running a NOC service, this can be the center of the NOC service. More about this offline. By the way, we are in Gartner next week from Monday to Wednesday. If any of you guys are there, would be very happy to chat with you guys, and thank you for your attention. Thank you.